Hey, welcome back to another episode for Life for Living Well. My name is Richard. Before I dive into the topic I have for us this week, I'd like to quickly say if you'd like to know one or two things about this community, you can find it out on our website at www.lifeforlivingwell.com. You will find some of our articles that we release weekly, and then you'll find some of the books that some of our readers suggested or recommended. You will also find it uh, on the website. And I think we have a new book that one of our brothers just published, Lino Benza. So the book is about how to be successful in the age of AI. So I will do a bit review of the book and then we'll put it on the website probably this week, and you'll be able to, if you like to get much about it, you can see it on our website if you go to the book section. So let's dive into the topic we have today without taking much of your time. The topic that I'm looking at today is what I call the hidden cost of pride and how to let it go. So we don't talk much about it, but it's something that everyone that listens to me right now may have experienced it, maybe directly to them or indirectly, or them being accused that they were too prideful. As we normally do is to take one individual quote and build around it. So I will be taking from Thomas Jefferson. What does he think about pride? So he put it this way: pride costs us more than hunger, taste, and cold. So let's imagine what would have made Thomas Jefferson come to this conclusion in this way. He would have thought the hungers are more costly, but Thomas Jefferson said if you put hunger, taste, even cold, any of these things can kill someone, can kill a person. But Thomas Agee suggested that pride costs us more than hunger. And if you are a Bible reader, he put it so way in one of the passages in the Bible that before a fall or a destruction of a person, what comes first is the pride. So let's see how the pride can be hampering our own progress and our own success, and even affecting our relationship. Pride is one of the most subtle emotional forces we experience. What did I mean by this? Yet it can quietly create havoc in both our inner world and our relationships. So just imagine when the pride becomes unhealthy, what show up, what often show up in disguised forms. It can be spiritual pride, intellectual superiority, or even the need to be seen as a good person. This pattern may seem harmless, but over the time, they can damage both intrapersonal and interpersonal connections. So, you may ask me, how does unhealthy pride look like? So just have it in mind that a prideful mindset often involves an excessive focus on self-image. Instead of simply being, there is a constant effort to appear a certain way. And what happens over the time, this particular mindset will create a fragile identity. You see yourself certain well, and that will also prepare you to behave certain way. When your self-image is too important, three things will happen. Number one, you may feel easily judged or criticized. You feel on edge. You get offended so easy. People, you become so overly not to do with people that are overly sensitive, but in this particular case, you feel easily judged or criticized. You may interpret neutral situations as personal attacks. You may attract people or situations that challenge how you see yourself. So it becomes a cycle, one that reinforces insecurity rather than confidence. So why pride damages relationships? Have you thought of it? Why pride damages relationships? Unhealthy pride makes conflict harder to resolve. Instead of seeking understanding, what the pride will do, pride will pushes us, one, to defend ourselves. Two, blaming others. Just imagine, just thought of it. You might have met people like that, or you might actually be the person that listen to me, and you don't know why you are doing it. And three, you prioritize being right over doing what is right. So this creates emotional distance and prevent genuine connection. In many cases, the real issue isn't the disagreement, it is the attachment to identity. What about the emotional cost of pride? Because Thomas Jefferson, as I stated earlier, said that pride costs us more compared to hunger, thirsty, and cold. So let's look at the emotional cost of pride. Living excessive pride can lead to three things. One, difficulty admitting mistakes. It was so annoying when you see people that older enough run away from accountability, easily blaming others for their own mistakes, for their own judgment, for their own choices. A lack of emotional growth. And the third, repeated patterns of conflict. And if you look, all their relationship, it has some one thing in common. They repeat the same pattern because they refuse to take accountability. They refuse to be humble enough to accept when they are do wrong. So pride doesn't just protect you, it isolates you. It's just a matter of time that the people will find it annoying and difficult to deal with. So what is the solution here? Because there's no point to just talk about the disadvantage and the problem that are associated with the pride. So the question is gratitude the antidote to pride? So we often told that humility is the opposite of pride, but a more practical and transformative counterforce is gratitude. So gratitude shifts your focus from self-image to appreciation, from defensiveness to acceptance. Because acceptance is more higher in vibration in the body energy than defensiveness. And pride in one time is more higher than shame, but they both low vibration of energy. But if you want to move from defensiveness, what you will notice to happen to you that you'll be able to accept when you mess up, you don't quickly look for somebody else to blame. You look at the role that you play. There's a genuine victim in so many situations in life, This is not what this podcast is all about. The podcast is more focused on the role of the pride and how we can change it and make it work in a positive and healthy way for us. And the third one is from ego to connection. So you no longer create an image that doesn't exist, but you are ready to defend that image with your life. So when you practice gratitude, the need to prove yourself begins to fade. How to let go of unhealthy pride. Hopefully, this part of the podcast may help someone if you are struggling with pride, if you are being questioned yourself about pride. So letting go of pride doesn't mean diminishing yourself. It just means freeing yourself. How do you free yourself from pride? Start with small steps. And what are those small steps? Notice when you feel defensive. And I think it's very important to do what we call self-reflection and also be aware when you are making judgment of others. Try to be more curious, try to be more engaging with yourself, not to condemn yourself, to be curious where that feelings is coming from, why you have those feelings. What is the beliefs that you hold about particular subject? So notice when you feel defensive. How do you do that? Ask yourself, am I trying to be right or to grow? Number two, practice daily gratitude. What is it that you get up this morning that you're more thankful for? Is it ability to make a speech and the next person beside you can understand what you are saying? You could be open your mouth and the thing that come out make no sense to anybody. Ability to write and somebody can read it. Could be something that's small as that, but liberating beyond your imagination. It could just be that you have a job to go in the current time where many people are being laid off. And it could just be that you have a loving family around you that are ready to support you in many other ways. So practice daily gratitude. And last one, allow yourself to be wrong without shame. So don't let the pride making you try to create like you can never wrong. You're always right. I used to know someone that every time she argued with someone, she would say, I'm always right. And then you wonder why so many of our relationships reach a bottom hole, because she is the only one in that relationship. At one time, she was saying to me that the other person that she's spending more time with, she complained about her own problem. And I said, does this person have a problem as well? She said, no, she doesn't have any problem. Is that true? If you are not check our pride will check us and will take a control away from us. And to be a servant to your pride is a perfect way for self-destruction. Our society often regard pride and self-image. People spend money to brand themselves. Whether when they don't have money, they do it with themselves. With the help of social media, they push out the image that they want you to see, even though their life is contrary to the word you say. And for those who have money, they pay a marketing company to do it for them. But if we are not mindful, the same emotional energy can quietly disrupt our lives. As I'm bringing this to the end, the final thoughts. Your goal isn't to eliminate pride entirely, because you cannot do that. It is part of emotion, that part of us. It is to release the unhealthy attachment to it, the need to identify yourself with the image that does not correlate with the reality of life. It's what you need to separate yourself from. And you have the power, you have the control, you are the master. You have not subjugate your authority totally to your pride. So when you do, you may notice something surprising. It will not be a coincidence. It will just be a byproduct of it. 1, more peace. 2, more connection. And lastly, a more authentic version of yourself. It's not like the people meet you in the morning, they meet different person. In the afternoon, they meet different person. In the night, they meet different person. You are truthful to yourself. I hope this message helps someone. Until we meet again, please stay safe and have a wonderful week. Ciao.